Department of Conservation talks about 24 million birds a year being killed by predators in New Zealand. New Zealand has been losing biodiversity for a very long time, and we have, despite all the efforts of our communities, of our Department of Conservation, of a lot of other committed people, we still have not stemmed the decline. And we need to operate at scale in order to turn that around, and keeping them safe for a long period of time is a key to building these populations up again. So there's an opportunity on Taranaki here for a project that'll transform the ecological prospects of this park. So what that means is getting rid of weeds. Weeds are not a major problem in this park. Eliminating predators. Predators are a major problem. We've still got goats in this park. And if you take those factors out, you could almost say, step back 200 years, give it a bit of time, and it would reinstate itself. But there's actually an opportunity to be active in that restoration. And when you're out there and you've got the pests to a level of control, and you can bring back kaka or kakariki or robin or any of these species and see them start to flourish, it's pretty special. Taranaki National Park is 34,000 hectares, so that's a lot of space. The Taranaki Mounga project is the main peak that everybody sees as they fly down the North Island, out to the coast, and then off the coast the remains of an old volcanic crater which now exists as half a dozen islands just off the coast. So how do you tackle pests at that scale? Well, the nice thing about this project is that while it doesn't have a fence around it, in the sense of a predator-proof fence, it has this big plain of dairy farms around it. So if they contain weeds and pests and so on their farms that surround the mountain, that stops the reinvasion back into the mountain itself. So there's a lovely synergy between the productive land and the conservation land. This is an iconic project for one reason, just because of the mountain, but also the community around it is hugely engaged with that mountain because it's part of their identity, but also it's a source of fresh water for Taranaki. And the iwi community, it's an ancestor for them, and there are 8 iwi in the area and they all regard this mountain as an ancestor. So there's a real connection to it in that sense.
We say that we are the mountain and the mountain is us, because he is our ancestor, and so we have a responsibility in some respects to ensure that we do our part. It's really important that we can participate in initiatives that to a certain extent increase the health and well-being of the Mounga, and pest eradication is fundamental to that, given that it will enhance the biodiversity of the mountain and therefore, as a consequence of that, provide benefit to the Mounga and also the wider community.
All the vibrations suggest this is a great opportunity for a community to get fully engaged in a project of this scale.
And dark turns to day.
I've got 6 grandchildren, and I'd like to think that as they grow up they see that changes were made, that things are improving, that we're not still talking about why our biodiversity is declining. We're actually seeing that it's plateaued, it's starting to come up again, that there are birds in our cities, but there's great bird life in our conservation estate. If I can do something to help that situation be what they experience, then I feel like I've done some good work.